My channel got stolen by one of my friends, and if you guys don't subscribe, your channel will be stolen. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to a really insane story. This story all starts off 3 years ago, and I am not joking. 3 years ago was when I made this channel become Bubba. This was when Bubba became Bubba, and basically all the insane stories I tell you now on this channel used to be all gone. I remember back 3 years ago when I first started doing YouTube videos and started telling stories. I remember I was pretty out of pocket. There were some stories on this channel where I would end up actually saying full-on names of people, and let's just say it got me into a lot of trouble. I remember 3 years ago, me and my friends, we decided to all go hang out one time and basically go and just have a good time, hang out with the boys, you know, nothing new. We were the same boys since high school, and I'm not gonna lie, even though some of us didn't grow up, most of us did. And I remember when me and all the boys were going out, hanging out, doing our own thing, one of my friends ended up walking up to me. He walked up to me and said, "Yo, Bubba, isn't that like one of your homies from back in middle school?" Now, I've told many stories from middle school, and I remember when my friend brought this guy up, I ended up looking at him saying, "Oh yeah, that is the guy from middle school." Now, this guy he ended up pointing out to, actually, I used to talk about a lot on this channel. He was my middle school bully that, let's just say, I never liked. I'm not joking. He actually scarred me for many moments of my middle school life. And I remember when I saw him, instantly, I looked towards his direction. And you know that feeling when you're being watched? Well, he felt that from me, and he ended up looking towards me and saw it was me. Now, this moment, I thought he didn't recognize me. I'm not gonna lie, I had a beard, I looked totally different. I did not look like normal Bubba from back in middle school. But right away, as he looked at me, he looked dead in my eyes. And I am not joking. He knew exactly who I was. At that moment, I was freaking out. I was like, oh, I think he recognized me. Let's go outside. Let's go outside. So me and my friends, we ended up going outside. And I remember he ended up following us outside and walked up to me saying, "Yo, Bubba, is that you?" Now, if you guys don't know, my real name's Arash. So for him to call me Bubba was actually kind of funny because Bubba is like my internet name. It's what you guys call me, and you guys are the Bubba gang. So obviously, like, you know, it was really weird seeing people I knew in real life call me Bubba. But when he called me Bubba, I knew at that moment he definitely knew about my channel, because the only people that would call me Bubba were people that knew I was an internet storytelling Devil's Tango master. So I remember he ended up walking up to me, calling me Bubba, and I said, "Yo, like, what's going on?" And he ended up basically wanting to catch up. He basically was being really nice to me and really kind to me, and me and him, we actually became good friends that night. We ended up all going back into the bar, having a good time, drinking and doing all the good things in life and being good to each other. But I'm not gonna lie to you, at this moment something was up, because all the stories I've told about him were bad stories about how he ruined me. And it was funny because he would bring up the channel, but he would never mention the stories that he was in. And I'm not gonna lie to you, things ended up getting a lot worse, because I remember a couple days went by, and I remember me and him, we would always, like, you know, talk through our phones, and basically we would always end up hanging out more and more. Me and my middle school bully actually ended up becoming good friends, as weird as it was. And I remember as me and him became good friends and we started talking more and stuff, it got really weird because he would never actually end up bringing up the videos where I talked about him, until one day I remember he actually ended up coming over to my place. I invited him over because he wanted to hang out and see how this whole YouTube thing works. So I ended up bringing him over. He looked at my setup and he was actually amazed about how much work I actually put into becoming a creator. And then I remember he ended up sitting at my desk looking at my gaming setup, and me, I looked at him and thinking nothing was gonna happen, I ended up deciding to go to the bathroom. Now, I'm gonna say this right now. If you have a computer or a gaming setup or even your iPhone, never leave it on without a password, because who knows what the person in that room with an open device might do. So I remember as I went to the bathroom, I went to go take a quick waz, and right after my bathroom break, I ended up coming back out and I saw he was on my computer looking at just my YouTube channel. He was scrolling through my videos, and I remember it got to a point where he stopped scrolling and clicked on the video where I ended up making fun of him on. He opened it and he's like, "Oh, this is my favorite story." And he ended up basically watching it with me. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it's weird when I watch my videos with my friends, but watching a video about a person that's in the same room as me that I made was the most awkward thing ever. Because I remember at moments where I would make fun of him, he would look towards me and be like, "Yeah, so this is what you think of me, really? This is exactly what you think of me? You never maybe thought to ask, you know, to post about me?" I ended up looking at him being like, "Yo, like, I never said your name, nothing. Like, I would never say your name. I was being nice." And me being nervous and stuttering and freaking out about this guy basically confronting me about the videos, he ended up saying this: "Bubba, you're gonna regret posting stories about me. I'm gonna say that right now. So just prepare yourself." I remember at that moment, I was pretty weirded out. I'm like, "Yo, was that like a threat? Like, what are you trying to do here?" "No, it's not a threat. Just don't worry about it. Just honestly, keep being you, man. See where it gets you." And he ended up standing up and walking away. Now, at that moment, I didn't really know what that meant. He ended up leaving my house in anger, and honestly, I ended up being being scared, just sitting in my room thinking, what does that mean? Did he cast a spell on me? Is everything just gonna disappear one day? And let's just say, yeah, everything was gonna disappear. Because I remember the next day when I woke up in the morning and I went on YouTube to search up my channel, I ended up getting a 404 page saying how this channel didn't exist. I was so confused, and I remember I ended up basically reaching out to YouTube support to see what was wrong, to see if I got banned or anything. I didn't know what was going on. I remember at that moment, I ended up basically, you know, tweeting out on Twitter, but by the way, you guys should follow my Twitter because I give out the latest updates on there. And I basically tweeted out saying, yo guys, my channel, I think something happened to it. I'm not sure, but just want to say I'll figure things out soon. And right after, when I sent that tweet, 5 minutes later, I ended up getting a text message from this bully that was from my middle school. He ended up texting me saying, about time something bad happened. And at that moment, I knew instantly when he texted me that he was the reason why all this happened. That time when I left him alone in my computer, he deleted my account. I'm not joking. I was upset. I was so angry and I was so mad to the point where I remember I ended up actually opening another YouTube channel, which is the second channel, and I ended up basically posting on there saying, hey guys, like, sorry, we're gonna get things figured out. And me, that whole weekend, I ended up actually contacting YouTube support to figure things out. Luckily, YouTube's actually a great platform, and they listen to the creators and they actually help out and make sure things go right. But I am not joking when I say this. The next day afterwards, I ended up realizing that there was a video that I did not upload on that channel. I ended up going onto the channel and seeing what was on there, and I ended up seeing a video of my middle school bully basically posting photos about me from back when I was in middle school. A lot of people in the comments were laughing and stuff because obviously at this time I didn't really show my face a lot on the YouTube channel. So obviously it was a little weird and kind of crazy how he kind of just doxed me in a way and doxed what middle school I went to and everything. And I started panicking. And at the end of the video, I remember I saw he ended up putting a message up saying, from your middle school bully, hope you enjoyed this. And then afterwards he ended up shutting off the camera. I ended up freaking out and I was really upset. At that moment, I knew the first thing I had to do was change all my passwords, become smart with everything, and make sure there was no way for him to ever get in contact with my channel again. And at that moment, I learned as well to never trust anyone from back in high school that you talked bad about. Anyways, follow for more embarrassing stories. Peace out, guys.